Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Atrocious. You can also call me Jake, and today we got another local round here, but one of the unconventional OP05 matchups I don't think a lot of people would expect to see and watch. It is Zoro versus Ace. Now I know Zoro has kind of made the rounds lately of the YouTube sphere. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of like Zoro updates on Twitter and YouTube, and I'm here to show you how I play Zoro right now. I usually don't showcase my own games IRL at locals, but I wanted to showcase this Ace deck because I think Ace is really cool. I love the leader, and then turns out we were paired against each other. So this is how it's gonna go. First of all, I want to say thank you to Darkside Games for allowing me to record this, and thank you to my opponent for allowing me to record this as well. If you want One Piece TCG singles, feel free to go to Darkside Games' website. Link is in the description below. So enough with the business. Now we're going to talk about game. They won the coin flip, so the Ace player is going to be going first in this one. I believe I go second, and so right now I'm looking, because I'm going second, I'm looking for two one-drop characters. Looking at my hand though right now, I've got a couple of options in there. I've got a Sanji, a Curly Dodon, Jambe, Luffy Rusher, and then a Jet Pistol. So because I have the Dodon and the Sanji, it might not be two characters, but I'm like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna keep it and at least have the one. Worst case scenario, if I don't like top deck a one-drop character going second, I can just play the Dodon and gather up some resources. So that's my game plan with that. I don't know if it was a good idea. It seems like a decent hand. Like anytime I feel like I find Diable Jambe and a Rusher, it's a hand that I want to keep, you know. So here we go with Ace. I'm honestly not really sure how the matchup goes personally in playing. I started playing in like the beginning of OP04, so I really haven't seen Ace, and this is like my second week of playing Zoro. So my Ace opponent having a great turn one with this placement of Izzo, one drop character, looking for a Whitebeard card, going to be finding the blocker Marco, a pretty good card, I will say, especially because I pursue a lot of bodies on the field, and I end up top decking Makino for my turn. So I'm thinking right here, and this is my game plan. I don't know if it's the right one, but let me know down in the comments. I decide to put down Sanji and Makino, and my reasoning to do that, I'm going to explain my reasoning, and then you all in the comments let me know how you feel. They played Izzo. They didn't find Fire Fist or an event. I'm saying, okay, you know what? Because of the speed of my deck, right, you are probably not going to play Fire Fist this turn. I took a gamble because these characters would easily be KO'd by Fire Fist, and then there's two bodies gone, 3k counter gone. So I basically made a gamble on here. You could have made the opportunity for a Dodon to go down, and with just a Dodon down, then you would probably not get Fire Fisted because there's only one body on the board instead of two, and in this matchup I feel like whenever you play Fire Fist you need two. So this is the decision I made. Let me know if you'd rather play Dodon or the pair of these two, and we'll just continue on in this turn. So 3-Don turn going on to Ace. They're going to immediately rest one and use the Whitebeard Pirates Searcher card. So you have to grab a Whitebeard Pirates character, and so they're going to whiff and put that away, and then really just pass the turn off to me after swinging 7 at life. So I'm gonna go in now in this 4-Don turn, thinking about what I want to do. I attach a Don to my leader, but first I'm gonna power up the Sanji here and power him up to 7. I use dice to keep track of how much power I have from my characters. So I'm gonna swing 7. There is a possibility in here, so I think my game plan here is to put down, like, swing these two, put down Dodon, or maybe like swing here, boom, just in case, you know, if there's a Fire Fist, none of my extra characters. I mean, I would lose Makino, but that's fine. put down to Dawn, search for a 1-drop, and either put down a 1-drop or attach one right here and swing with Zoro. So I don't know if that was the best play. I decided because like with the attachment right here and swinging here first, you know, it provides less shenanigans potentially, but I don't know if there was a different reason. And I actually throw down a Zoro. I must have actually top decked the Zoros. So after swinging 6 there, putting down the Zoro at the life and doing a little bit of math on whether or not they want to counter out of this or not, I think I decided to go with the Zoro mainly to continuously just apply pressure, minimize the amount of options that they can have, trying to take out especially those 2K counters on the field, because I know that I have a Rush Luffy in hand. So that's the game plan that I went with. They have got 4 Dawn set to the side right now. Could be a number of things. The Fire Fist is online at least right now potentially, and especially with that Izzo swinging at the Makino, the Fire Fist could come down and take out both of my dudes. So they could be a Fire Fist attached to a swing 7 at leader. It could also be a couple different things, but they're actually going to swing 9 at Zoro here. So I don't know their hand exactly. I know they have Fire Fist. I think they have another Jozu in there, but going to be leaving 1 Dawn, 2-play Striker, a beautiful stage card for the ace deck to be able to find event cards. So on the 6 Dawn turn now, I'm going to go, I think, a little bit more of the development side and play down the Dawn. That's why I've set 2 Dawn to the side. I'm a pretty animated and pretty transparent player. As I'm new to the game, I feel like I need to be to make sure. And so I announced that I'm going to draw 5 off of the Dawn, and looking at the 1-drops that I got, I think I can choose between Magura and Buggy, and so I think I opt for the Buggy out of all of them, because Magura doesn't really help me because I expect Sanji to get KO'd going into the next turn. So putting Buggy into my hand, 1-drop Searcher to look for an event card, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to look and find at least a Jet Pistol, and I'm going to grab that Jet Pistol, second one in my hand. And it's getting a little cluttered with the Diable Jambe and 2 Jet Pistols, but I got a pretty healthy hand with like 6 cards, I think, at this point. So I'm going to be attaching 1 to the Zoro, powering up my Sanji, and I think I'm going to swing 6 now at the leader. A perfect 6 and 6 between the character and leader. I swing with the character first to avoid Jet Pistol KO and lose out on an attack, and I end up getting that life, and now I'm going to do Zoro here. And I'm thinking about right now, the reason that I'm like leaned over the table is I'm trying to figure out whether I would rather swing into leader or swing at Izzo, because Izzo is an easier way to KO this Sanji right here. And so my reasoning for the eventual swing, I believe I swing into Izzo. My thinking is like, okay, if I take out this character, then that means they probably have to commit a swing here and a Fire Fist to get rid of my entire board, instead of just like swing here, Fire Fist these 2, and then swing leader into life. So I end up swinging at the Izzo, taking that knockout, 6K on a 2K, and we move into Ace's next turn. So going to look at what they want to do right here. Got a couple different options on this Dawn turn. They got 2, 4, 6, 7 Dawn turn to do. Could use the Striker effect on the stage to be able to find an event, but first going to swing 6 at the Sanji. So getting that knockout there, usually let my 1-drops go unless it's a crazy moment, and they immediately go into the Striker. If they find an event here, they could use Fire Fist, and they're going to find the Whitebeard Pirates Searcher at this point. So going to be putting that in hand They've got a little bit to do, and it looks like they're going to use Fire Fist, but discard a round table, which is very interesting. So that's a little bit more knowledge inside their hand on the Whitebeard Pirates, but they play it immediately to go look. And so my board was immediately cleared, but no swings into leaders. So I'm still at 4 life. So I'll take that as kind of a win, you know, expended a lot of resources, I feel like, on that turn. So I leaned over because I didn't realize that that was Jozu at first. I had never seen that Store Championship Jozu card before we recorded this as a newer player. So pretty stoked to see another card. I think, man, I love trading cards. Anyways, going into my 8 Dawn turn here now, I've got a couple different options of things that I can do. I have laid down 5 Dawn right there, and then 3. There's a couple different things that maybe I could provide. I will attach 2 to Zoro, swing 7 at leader right there, and I think my game plan is to just put that Luffy down and just provide 2 swings every turn at least at this point. So don't think it's too bad of a game plan. Just constantly applying the pressure. Got 2 cards on that one to put them at a 3-card hand. And going to be swinging 7, actually. 7 into the ace. Getting another life. Putting them at, I believe, 2 life at this point. And they're going to get a Whitebeard Searcher trigger. Grabbing that Marco. That Marco is a huge deal in this one, and I believe I still have 1 Dawn left at this point. So I'm thinking, after seeing that Marco, I'm like, man, is this a good idea or is it not? And I decide to play the Sanji, because the Sanji is either a 1k counter in my hand or it's immediately dead to the Marco. So I'm not 100% sure which one at this point they'll do, but again, if I force them to play the Marco, then they'll probably use leader to swing at my Luffy, which is not my life. So I think that's kind of pretty much the summary of the game plan that I did. And it looks like he plays Rush Ace. So not using Marco, but using the ace to minus 3,000 on that Luffy to put it at a 3,000 on a 5k swing. I'm looking at my hand, seeing what counter. I do have a Brook there, but it's not going to be enough to get out of it, and I decide to just let him swing 7 into me, get rid of that Luffy. So I'll take it, I'll put it in my hand there, and then they'll end their turn by looking at the top 5 and finding an event card potentially. So just double checking to make sure like they don't break any of the rules following Striker, and it turns out they actually whiff on that. So going to be putting the cards back into the deck. Definitely on an ace deck, it really hurts when you whiff an event. But I'll go into my 10 Dawn turn now, and the thing that I've really enjoyed about my play so far is I have a pretty substantial hand. I do have a buggy going on right now in this hand, so I know that I'm going to commit 1 Dawn to Zoro. I should commit 1 Dawn to the buggy and 1 to the Sanji to be able to swing at ace, trying to go a little bit wider if I can. So going to be playing that one, playing down that buggy, and looking for an event card. I do find a Rad Beam and a Gum Gum Red Hawk I saw. So thinking about, okay, if I grab the Gum Gum Red Hawk, what can I KO on the Gum Gum Red Hawk? And the only thing that I could think of was Izzo, so I end up going for the Rad Beam instead. Felt like it was just a better play. Yeah, plus 4,000 is really, really cool, and the KO, but I could be 1 more Dawn efficient for basically the same thing with the Radical Beam here soon. So that's why I chose that one. So going to be powering up my characters by 1,000. I've got the Zoro right there, and still 8 Dawn left to play with. So I'm thinking about where exactly I would want to put this. I put down a Makino, power up my Sanji to a 7,000k power body. But I'm actually, I remember this, I'm going to be committing some Dawn to the Sanji as well, because I think right now one of the best things that I can do is try to take out this ace. So I'm going to swing 10 at the ace, go 3k above, and I'm going to be taking it out. Probably overcommitted some of the Dawn, but they have a 4-card hand, so I was like, okay, I know they have a Jozu, which is a 2k counter, so I wanted to go above that. So I'm going to commit all the rest but one Dawn, swinging 9k at the leader, and it's going to be a Jet Pistol, KOing my Buggy. So unfortunate that Buggy went down before I could swing with him, but putting him to 1 life while I'm still at 3, and he's got no characters on the board. I feel pretty all right now, but it's still really close in my opinion. I do think it can get a little scary if I'm not careful. So 10 Dawn now into their turn. They've got a couple different options. I know they have a Jozu and a Marco in hand. Trying to think of what else they could have. Did they end up playing Fire Fist? I actually can't remember, but gonna start out playing the 5k swing at Makino, and just gonna let that go because that's a lot of counter power. I don't have 3 2ks in hand, and going to be taking out that Marco there. So losing both kind of stinks, but they do have that other blocker Marco there, which is very, very threatening in my opinion. So going back to 10, one of my longest Zoro games ever, because I feel like I play a really aggressive version. Got 3 life left on this one. Trying to think about what I want to do here. I do know that I play 1 card. I don't know if it comes up in this one. I think it does. I do play kind of one of the more spicier cards, I feel like, in Zoro. I don't see anybody else playing this, but I'm a big believer of a 2-of in the deck. I'm going to lay down 4 and play Uta. On play, grab a 4 cost or lower from your trash into your hand, and so that option 9 times out of 10 is Zoro. So I've got 3 Dawn that I'm definitely going to be giving to the or committing to laying down the Zoro to get another 2 swings in, because again, 2 swings per turn has been a pretty decent game plan, I feel like, so far. So I'm going to be swinging 7 at leader at this point, and there's a couple different options. They don't have a lot of counter power in hand. Ooh, we could actually look to see what exactly they had in hand. So they end up using the block there and not saving him. We do know that they have a Rad Beam. I think that's a Rad Beam. I think that's Jozu right there, but I'm not 100% sure what this card is. So could be a lot of different things, just not enough counter power to be able to, you know, block and save them. Or maybe if, you know, with the Jozu and whatever this other card is, it could be a Rush Ace, actually, looking at the like flame design here. Maybe didn't want to pitch either of those cards to save this Marco, because you can save it if you pitch a Whitebeard Pirates card. So with 1 Dawn open, opted not to save him either, or even use the Rad Beam, because I think he knows that a Zoro is going to be coming. So I probably should have swung 6 at or 7 at leader first instead of playing Uta down first. That's a rookie mistake by me. Definitely want to swing first and then play the Uta and Zoro, but we'll see if I get punished for that or not. I guess you could say I did get punished, but anyways, going to be laying 1 down for Buggy on this turn. Buggy of their own, going to be looking for an event card. Going to be finding Radical Beam. Radical Beam, just a really, really good event card in red. Basically going to block one of my attacks for sure, I feel like. So going to be laying what looks like 7 down now, and going to be playing Flame Emperor. So popping my Uta and powering up his leader. I believe the leader now at 8, going to be probably taking out the Zoro if they swing here. So going to be swinging 7 at the Zoro, and I'm going to make a decision here about what I want to do, because the Zoro could go down right on here, and then they could swing 8 into leader. Do I have enough to save this Zoro? If I don't save him, though, I'm about to eat a double attack potentially. So I opted to save him, not wanting to get double attacked, and used 2 Brooks. So going to into my next turn now, I top deck an Uta, and I'm thinking, man, I might try to do the same thing. So they only have 2 cards in hand, and I know one of them's Radical Beam. So Gum Gum Jet Pistol could be an option in this game, although I probably don't want to do it because I know they have Radical Beam, and Gum Gum Jet Pistol would save that Marco, revive that attacking Marco. So I start off swinging 7 at the ace, do a little bit of my correction that I had mentioned earlier. Actually, I forgot that I did it this way the second time, but going to basically be doing the same play as last turn with the Uta Zoro combo, and going to be getting that last life there. So at 0 life and 3 life for me with 4 cards, I believe, in hand, I gotta survive this turn. I feel like, especially because I have Diable Jambe in hand. So they're looking around what they could do, and there's a realistic solution that I could lose this turn. And so looking around on 10 Dawn, seeing what they could potentially do, going to maybe swing 7 into the leader. They actually threw this. We're like, wait, maybe I want to attack Zoro. Hold on 1 second. They're like, I know I'm going to swing. And so I was like, okay, yeah, cool, because I'm pretty casual when it comes to our local leagues and stuff. I don't take it too seriously. So we're thinking, we know they have a Seaquake in hand. I saw that flash of the Seaquake, but that wouldn't help them win this game. And so going to be rethinking their Dawn placement and how they want to do this. They split 7 and 3. Could be an ace as well. I can't remember if they had ace in hand right now. Could split the 3 to play the ace down and another rusher. That would be another commitment to the buggy, but going to be resting the stage and resting to Dawn to try to grab a event. And so they do find Flame Emperor. Flame Emperor could be really good with the double attack, but the problem with the hand is that they only have like 1 more Dawn on Flame Emperor, so they'd have to, like, the math is really weird on how they would do it. They should just go really aggressive, they were telling me, but I showed them my hand like, oh, I had Diable Jambe if I got out of this turn, but I had no counter in hand. If they swung 5, I was gonna take it. So thankfully was able to escape that one in that game. I definitely think there's a world where they could have like just spread their Dawn a bit, just maximizing the amount of Dawn to swing as high possible with these characters. Maybe like poke. Well, I don't know, because you need to play the ace down, right? So you need to commit 2 Dawn here. So that's 5. You could commit 1 here. So 6, swing 6, and then 7. And you would have to hope that that would KO. I don't know exactly what my life were, but I remember we were talking about it after this game. And if he had just done that, I don't think I would have actually gotten enough counter power to stop the swings in the succession that I talked about, the 5, 6, 6, 7. So crazy game, I will say. I'm pretty stoked about that one, especially when I didn't really know the matchup. There were definitely some misplays that I made, but overall, I think it was a pretty decent game by me. Let me know down in the comments how you felt, and thank you again to my opponent and Darkside for allowing me to record this game for the channel. We got more games coming up, more locals, especially a final, the final round, the final undefeated pair coming up in the next video. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you later.